he's been working on it. Got the rods cut for the journal.
Okay.
Fit the journal correctly and give you your clearance and everything. And I don't know what else. Jack, how long Jack been gone? You know?
How long has he been back?
Gone. Is he not back there now?
Oh, gone. The
He went
one he
to
left around 12.
Someone got a little Subaru or something out there?
Yeah, that's me.
Here, you hit your key 5 because the thing's screaming.
Oh, shoot. I might have it.
Walmart, the Murphy on 460 out there in Bonsai Town.
Okay.
They got the ethanol free, but I saw this and
Yeah, I mean, it's not the ethanol causes troubles, I think, the performance stuff.
yeah, and it also Cruciante was
Yeah.
4 point. Rave reviews are out of Rocky Mountain and stuff like that.
Have you got is your tank all clean and empty now?
No, that's the thing. I got
Get it out and get it, bring that hummus back, get all that done. See, fuel, if it sits more than 6 months, it loses all kinds of
Right.
stuff. So, we have these high volume places, they'll be fine because they sell them.
right.
But the high test, it was, I always put high test, well, that's the worst thing to do because high test sits alarms because of
Then nobody buys it.
It's
Right.
expensive. So, you'll have these big stations, some of the new ones have stir tanks, they have the stirrers in there.
Mm-hmm.
To stir that. But yeah, I'll talk to Terry about that and he'll be back to you tomorrow.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, then I won't be getting it out of here right away, but I was hoping it's at the end of my vacation
Well,
here this week. But I'm sure we could try. We'll work something out. Maybe on a Saturday, I'll find out
Yeah,
if someone's going to be here in the
yeah,
morning or something. I
he-
can come by and get it the hell out of here for you guys.
And I'll talk to him about when he'll be back to me.
Yeah. And a little cradle on this.
I got that big in. I looked it up and found that. Why we didn't order it.
Dude, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, So, Dennis, thanks, bud.
All right, bud.
Good luck
See you
with your
later.
thing.
Oh,
I'll be
yeah.
talking with you.
Fun.
You got my number there,
But
right?
it's not changed.
353-492. Thanks, bud, man. You have a great afternoon.
All right, Scott. All right. I'm sorry. Hey, I am so down my control, but I'm sorry it's taking so long. But there's other people who've been here even longer. I don't quite understand. Anyway, and he was working on clearances and he got the clearance right for the rods as far as that goes. We had to go. Different to get the 1,000. We had to get one that had a little extra clearance. Wouldn't give us a clearance.
Okay. So, explain to me what we got to do because the crank was supposed to be.
As far as using this, Dennis. There wasn't enough clearance, is my understanding, with the. And Terry's the one really could tell you. He will be back tomorrow. Now Jack might know, and he's at lunch, so and he ought to be back. He ought to be back pretty soon. Let's
Okay.
see what time it is. He ought to be going back in here in the next 10 minutes if you want to
Yeah, I can hang out.
hang out. But he got the rocks, he got the rods cut, and of course he's been working off your sheet, what you wanted and everything. And he can tell you about the clearances that it was too tight or something. I can't remember what Terry told me.
There was something with the wrist pins.
Yeah, the
That's-
bushing.
that's what I was
what did
coming
you
for.
find out about that?
Here to figure that out. What are we measuring? What's wrong? Where's the issue?
Well, that's something else that Jack will tell you because he was doing that too.
Okay.
It's a half a thousandths. Let's see. What did I tell you
On the
yesterday?
on the piston or the rod?
On the pin.
On
In other words, pin moving through the
Through the
rod.
rod. Okay.
It wasn't
so I need
enough.
to contact Eagle.
Yeah, see what they recommend for your application.
Okay. So yeah, I was
Um,
talking with Wisco because I was under the impression, based on yesterday's phone call, that we were dealing with
The bushing.
the wrist pin being the bore and the piston
Oh,
of the
no,
wrist pin.
no.
Okay, so
It
it's
was-
Eagle
it was
that I
on
need
this.
to contact.
Let me, I don't know if I got the minute or not. See what they recommend for clearance. I mean, we usually run a little bit more clearance in it.
Yeah, more better oiling.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, then what you were telling me yesterday was that we did have more clearance.
I talked to some people the other day.
I get you.
Let me find that.
It's all right. Yay. No clearancing on the inside yet. Woodruff key's still intact. No bearings in there yet, but it looks like the How you doing?
I'm just here.
What's that?
I'm just here. That's your engine?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's oh yeah, the old Mitsubishi, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You done much work on it?
Yeah, well, Jack is working on it, you know, put it all together, and yeah,
We're getting there.
it's getting there, man.
Howdy.
Is that what you wanted?
I believe so. So far, we're getting there. Are you Jack?
I'm Jack.
Jack, good to see you. He was telling me.
It said preferred clearance 5 2/10. I gave it right at 6,000 side clearance. Your side clearance,
Ah, okay.
6,000, which is about a piece of milk and paper and a half.
Let's see here.
Yeah, Terry said that was he thought the rod would hit in the block. I said no way, because
No.
she never got him on it.
Yeah, the rods will hit the block. Yes. And there's going to be some clearance that we'll have to do right around number 3.
You do that or you do that?
I'm going to have y'all do it.
Okay.
There's not a whole lot of grinding to be done,
Should have done that. We done it yesterday.
but let's see.
Let me get back and do some work right quick. Denny should be back here with you in a minute.
Okay. You said you were looking at 6,000s on the big end?
On the side clearance.
Okay.
It calls for where are you?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, 4.8 to 5.2. I went right about 5.8 to 6 in that area. It's hard to go in 2
Yeah.
thousandths.
Oh, I get you. Okay.
About the pin bushing. And Jack walked right on by you, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, we talked for a brief moment.
Okay, okay.
Um,
Terry's, I mean, he's on that, so I don't know what, I don't hear everything about what they're doing with the engine, except order this, order that. It's either too much or not enough. And the bearing clearance, you need to get more.
so he needed more clearance on the mains or the rods?
On rods. That's the main bearing there. I mean rod bearing there. And it's same bearing number, but it's just a
Yeah, a
just
smidge
extra
more open.
Yeah.
Do we know
I'm
what-
pretty sure about that.
And we're keeping confident that that's going to keep me a little bit looser on the
Yes.
main, or I'm sorry, a little bit looser on
rod.
looser on the mains, but tighter on the rods.
Well, I'm hoping so. Like I say, Terry is involved in all that, and they've been
Okay.
on it. So I'm not sure of all his, and he's got the same sheet. Because I made a copy for him and a copy for me, and then I made a copy for Jack. So I'm going about what you was wanting to have done.
Well, obviously the wrist pin is the big issue right now because
Yeah.
that's going to hold us up from being able to do to kind of move forward.
Yeah.
Obviously the piston needs to be dropped into the bore so we can establish if it's going to where it needs to be ground on the block for the
Right,
additional throw.
right, for clearance. Right.
So that needs to be tackled almost immediately.
See what they say for your application, what you're doing, what kind of pin clearance you need on your bushing,
Okay.
and then I'll find out.
Yeah, and if
Terry
we
will
had
text
that
me back.
figure,
No, you
if we had that figure, then that would be
didn't.
good because then I would be able to just immediately address. But if we don't
Yeah.
have that,
Yeah.
then all right. So, but everything looks fine with the bores for the piston. It's definitely the rods that are the issue.
Yeah, just
Okay.
the pin,
All right.
just the pin,
And-
and they've got everything else figured out, and so I don't know of anything else at the moment.
Okay.
Because I don't hear everything either.
Right. Did we just polish the crank, or it doesn't look like we cut it?
I don't think it's been cut.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it because I've still
We
got a
test
couple of
bearing. We got
yeah,
a test bearing in
two
there.
bearings in there, so we
I
can
don't
spin
see
it.
there's no mark on the crank.
Yeah.
Usually he'll stamp it.
I mean, we've got a little
Mark
bit
it.
we've got a little bit of scoring on the crank,
Yeah.
and it's nothing to worry about.
I
But
don't
that's
think
why I
it's-
was saying,
it's-
all right,
yeah,
well,
it's
if we
been
had to
polished.
open up the clearances, we
Yeah.
may have just polished it out more. But
Yeah.
obviously, we
You
went
can
with
take a
different
little
bearing.
bit out with polishing, but not a lot.
Right, right. So I understood that the crank was. It's a
Standard.
hardened. It's a hardened nitrated crank.
Right.
And if you cut it, we're done.
It loses that
Yeah,
hardness. A
it-
little film of it anyway.
so that's something that
But
we
it's a steel
definitely.
crank. It's not like it's cast or anything.
No.
It is
But
a
it's
steel
a-
crank that rod beam and beam in there. If he answers me in a little bit, then I'll call and tell you what he says. So
And I'm impressed with that. I didn't know who's been doing the cleanup on the crank. And the only reason I ask is I want to ask a question about the
About the holes,
the
the-
drill. The balls. If they were pulled, that's great. When we were cleaning, because I'm not sure if they were pulled or not,
and
but
it's
it looks like
it's
they
been
may have
staked
been.
there before. So I don't know if
So
we've
I don't-
done that or not.
And if it's been done, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
The sludge traps that get behind there,
Yeah,
that ends up leaving a bunch
you
of
make
shit in
it a
it.
little. I mean, I don't know how crucial
yeah.
it would be, but you may
Well,
get some. But
like I said, my big thing is if it's been done, I'm really happy with it. That tells me that you guys are doing a fantastic job.
well, it's just so much going on, and, so. But let me converse with him and
Okay.
see.
Yeah, get
Hey,
back to me.
Jack. Did you figure rod clearance? You figured rod main clearance on this? Yeah. Okay. Who did that? Dale, you think?
Probably Dale or, yeah, probably Dale.
Okay.
Is it
I
rod?
get straight. Huh?
Yeah, it is figured. Okay, here's the deal. The rods, you need to use half of one, half of the other.
Okay. So,
Okay, so you're gonna get two sets and you'll divide.
well, I'm not doing the assembly, so.
Okay. We're gonna do the assembly?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I know that, I need to know that. This has been set, main's been set, whatever it is, they've got it set. There's 2,000 clearance on the mains. And the rods are at, um, 2 4/10 with a half and half.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Did we?
Yeah, mains you got 2204. So and then rods 225. So you're on the upper end. The rods are a little bit. He had too tight without the right with the other bearing, and then it's at two. What do you say, 25?
Yeah, so it's an upper and lower
Yeah.
cap just to be able to basically take out half.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting
Just one,
25 thousandths over, you actually half that.
Yeah.
I get that completely. That's
Yeah, we do that all the time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
The
easier
crank
than-
doesn't. The crank doesn't. Well, the rod doesn't know where it's located on
Right,
there. It's
right.
got the clearance, and that's all it needs to know.
Have we checked anything? Because obviously we've got the main set at a good tolerance. Have we done anything with thrust?
I don't think he's done anything there. If he's checked it. I don't think he's checked the thrust on it yet.
All right.
Now these bearings, the mains, it has the thrust built in.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah. Okay. And then we'll just have to check that and see what kind of end play you've got. He's not done any of that yet, but that always gets checked regardless. Actually. Do you have a spec that you want it to be?
For end play?
Yeah.
Yep. Thrust surface crankshaft
Here we
end play
go.
factory spec. 2000
For 3 to 5.
71.
Okay. Okay. And it'd just be a matter of, I don't know if you can get an oversized or undersized thrust on that. I'm not sure about the ACLs.
Yeah, 'cause she looks like she's. There's no real way of telling what it is until you drop a bearing in.
It'd be
smack
really,
the
Scott,
rods
if you could come in and sit down and talk with Terry and go over things, and that's the best way. Tomorrow would not be a good day because he's been gone for 2 days.
Yeah, and I'm working tomorrow anyway,
Yeah,
so.
and he's actually at the Lexus plant, going through the Lexus plant in Kentucky. So,
Can we see what my work order? I'm not looking for pricing necessarily. I just want to make sure that there's no confusion as we kind of go forward. Because
we're talking about
Terry at one point didn't know that we would be doing the full assembly.
yeah, he
Jack didn't know that we were going to have to cut the block for the additional stroke.
Yeah.
So-
Terry, he's got the same sheet that you had. I don't know. He's just got a few things in there. He's not done all that. This is his program.
Yeah. Place
That just comes in there when you put that job, that engine in,
Block,
it
block.
programs up. That don't mean
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
And he's got all his figures done. Now, we do have the bearings. I got to change. I got to add that
The extra half.
25.
Yeah, the other side.
And of course, we don't use the Clevites, and we don't use thrust wash on that. I've got 2 of these things in here. I've got a 2000 year model. This is just the opposite. Well,
Well, it's 180 degrees
Yeah.
out, but it runs the same stuff.
Right.
And it ends up having the same.
but it's different
100
bearings.
Well, it runs. You sure it's not a V6?
No,
4-cylinder?
it's a 2002 or 3.
Oh yeah, that's because we're mixing and matching some
yeah,
old
you're mixing
stuff and new stuff.
Yeah.
The rod bearings end
A
up
little
being older.
out of the norm.
The rod bearings end up being the older version. The
Yeah, I
thrust
got a
ends up being the newer.
2003. Now this one, he's loading up, and it's in a Evo, and it's a race car, and it's big horses, but it's all turboed up. And
Well, that's
all
what
that
this one is.
crazy.
So.
Yeah, but it's a 2003. But he doesn't have anything really figured in there, Scott. He's got notes and everything that he works off of, and
Okay.
that just comes up with the program.
It's mostly just, like I said, it's not so much looking for the pricing. I would like to have that,
Oh,
but
you need that. You need to know. And I told him that yesterday.
yeah.
But he was trying to get out of here.
it's more so we can make sure that everything is getting done that
What you
you
want.
and I had spoke with
Right.
over the 7 or 8 times I've been in here, because
Yeah.
we had talked about
Let's-
blast speeding the pistons and actually
Right.
checking the pistons. 3 weeks ago I come in and Terry didn't realize that we were using used pistons and that we had to check the
He
rating.
didn't,
And I get it, there's business and miscommunications and confusion,
Yeah.
but like I said, it's to go over the list of what is to be,
Right.
what is expected to make
Right.
sure that we're crossing all those T's and
get what
dotting
you
all those
want.
I's.
Absolutely. Why don't you? I will get him to give you a call, and he can just really sit down and talk with you and go over things. And
Yeah, first and foremost, let's make sure we
Right.
figure out what's going on with the
pins.
With the pins, yeah. That way,
He's not answering me.
if
back.
I've got to order up new bushings for the rods or new rods altogether or different
Yeah,
pins.
Well, we already cut the rod, so
Yeah,
but
hopefully not.
we
'cause-
can replace the pins. That's
Yeah.
not a problem.
Yeah.
That's not an issue.
doing the pins isn't really the.
Nah,
And pins are relatively cheap through Wiseco.
Yeah, they're not.
I mean, we're talking $10 to $15 per pin. So, but if the bushings are worn out,
Yeah, I mean, I think the pins are okay. I think it was the bushing that we had. There was too much clearance or not enough. I can't remember what he said. Either half or.
yeah, I want to say it was supposed to be half,
Okay.
and we're sitting. I'm sorry. Based on what we were talking, it was almost double the clearance of what
Right.
we were
That's
expecting.
what it was. That's what. It was. Yeah.
And we were shooting for 1,000th, and I think we were hitting 5,000ths.
Yeah.
But of course,
Or half thousands.
Mm-hmm. what y'all were worried about was, if this is going to be a big horsepower motor.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
we're
you want
looking
it to be. You want the clearances you want. I mean,
well, and it's
too tight. And
I gotta have it
come
last
down.
too. So yeah, I'm looking to make power, but it's a street car.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
The bearing clearances are and wrist pin clearances are just as important
Oh,
because
absolutely.
of how it's going to
Well,
be
you
ran.
dialed the piston up and you got it loaded under boost and
Yeah.
kabooey.
So, and y'all like to run a little bit looser on the pin clearance, which
Yeah.
I understand. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing for the mains to promote oiling there.
Yeah.
So, if he's looking at it trying to get the pin to bushing spec down to factory, well,
Well, we're probably.
why wouldn't we want it a little
yeah,
bit
you
looser
would be
anyway?
Looser, yeah, maybe.
So that would make sense.
A tenth or two.
And since we're sitting tight on the rod clearance, we can go a little bit looser on the bushing side.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Let me.
Yeah,
I'll
let's,
talk to him when he gets back, and
mhm.
I'll get him to call you, Scott, and arrange for you to come up here, and y'all go over everything and make sure that he's on the same page and with you, and he'll tell you what his he'll give you what his thoughts, and then you just tell him you just whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
you do what you want to do.
Yep.
Okay?
Sounds good. Just
It's in progress.
I see.
It's slowly but surely.
I understand. Let's just make sure that when it goes together and it runs, that it's gonna last. That's the big thing.
We want you to do
And
that.
I understand it takes time to do that, and it takes some precision and additional stuff that we didn't
Yeah.
expect to encounter. But
Well, it's like I say, you're putting two together.
oh yeah.
And you're merging them to make them.
Well, and we're using some used parts, so I get
Yeah.
that. There's
Yeah.
going to be some difficulty there, but
Yeah.
uh,
Well, I'm sorry about some of the confusion, but like I say, we'll get it, and then
Mhm.
like I say, I'll talk to him and get him to give you a call, and you can come out and talk to him and discuss what.
Sure.
Go over everything just like you do with me.
because it sounds like most of the bores have already been punched out. I assume
I think
we've
he
already
had.
torque plated the bores out. Actually, I think we had to have because
Yeah.
I think he said that we've already installed the pistons at one point, pistons and rods,
Just to say.
just to see what was going on with it. So, and we could have
Well,
cleared the
that
block
one,
at that point.
that one rod and piston you rod, I think he done that.
Yeah, that was just an old one, so we
Yeah,
could collect debris
that would
before.
Fit the rod, that would fit the crank.
Right, and that one fits the crank. It's a
Yeah,
factory rod,
factory
factory
rod.
piston. Of course, we're going a little bit bigger on stuff, but Jack had said he wished we would have known we were cutting the block for the clearance.
He'd tell you that,
Yeah,
but I don't know.
because he would have gone ahead and done that before, obviously getting
Yeah,
into final wash down
that'll
and
be-
assembly.
We'll be okay there. We can protect and clean.
Yeah,
That.
yeah.
We'll be able to do all that.
When it comes to balancing, because we are going to have that rotating assembly balanced, presumably you're going to need everything that hangs off the crank except for the torque converter.
I'll need the balancer, of course, crank rods and pistons, rings.
Mm-hmm. I would
The
assume
flywheel.
timing gear components. It's auto
No.
car, so
I don't need that.
Flex
Crank,
plate.
the balancer. The crank gear. I mean, it's not going to affect it because
Okay.
it's not really being slung. It's nice to have it on there, and we do them all the time. But we need the balancer, crank rods and pistons, rings.
well,
Also-
rings are right here.
You got the rings right there. All right, Josh. Oh, 1137.
It's 3157.
Have you? Already had 'em. Okay, balancer. We've got the crank rods and pistons and rings.
Mhm.
Flywheel, pressure plate, That's
Okay.
it.
So,
Now I don't have the bouncer, do I?
no.
And thanks to Order 5.
If you look on,
You gotta pay.
yeah, there's
I got
a
sheet that
there's a
tells
back
me.
sheet there, and yeah, that's okay. You've got the sheet, and I've got the
sheet
same, and
with
I
raw,
keep on
what you
updating
raw.
stuff with it. So
Yeah.
if it ever needs updating, you know, I got the master copy, but
Okay.
I'll keep you all involved. And
Well, we gotta be. I mean, it's like saying I can say I apologize again for it takes so long, but it just is what it is. And it's just we got so much going on in here. Well, just like for instance, hey, you see that straight 6-cylinder right there? That old straight cylinder,
I'm looking
6-cylinder,
for it.
green one.
yeah, the diesel.
It's been here over a year. And we had to wait for parts and pieces, and custom bore, had custom pistons made for a 38 Oldsmobile. Now you figure that. Because they don't make the parts and pieces.
Well, of course.
So this takes time. And but I'll get with him and we'll set up a time where you can come in and talk with him and go refine everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that way we'll be right on.
Let's not forget about those.
Yeah.
Alrighty, because I've got oil jets in there too.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
the big thing.
that's-
Because
you
once,
brought them the other day.
yeah, once
Or
the
a couple weeks ago.
you know, once we're getting into final cinch down, otherwise you
Right.
got to completely disassemble everything and
Right.
then get them
Can't
back
get
in
them
there.
without it.
Right. So,
Yeah.
like I said, let's just not forget about them, that they're there. So,
And I got that on your car because I wrote my car.
all right,
All right, Scott.
sounds good.
We'll
I'm
get
not
it
trying to
straight,
bust
son.
your balls or anything. I just, you know,
Well, I mean, you want something done. I understand that. He understands it.
and I'm not trying to be impatient, but it's been almost
Been a
6
while.
months.
Yeah,
So,
it's been a while.
all right. Well, have Terry give me a holler.
Okay.
Once we finally get it all straightened out, and
That's the best way, really.
Mhm.
Sit down and talk to him. I'll
and if
play off him.
if we got to set an appointment time where I can be sure he's here, I can always scoot out from work and just tell him I'll be back. I'm taking lunch. So,
It'll work something.
just give me a holler.
All right, Scott.
See you,
Appreciate it.
Dennis.
Appreciate it.